Hi, guys, and welcome to the second episode of Clairvoyant Conversations. I'm your host, Alexander Creek. Before we actually get going with the program today, featuring Crystal Heinemann, I wanted to direct your attention to my YouTube channel. And I do these monthly forecasts every month, and they are based, around your personal year number. It is super, super important and easy to figure out your personal year number. It's going to give you a lot of specific information about your cycles and your life. And it's a really helpful tool to kind of help plan stuff and to help kind of understand what your upcoming cosmic weather pattern really is. And I do a forecast every month based around that number. So go to my YouTube channel, figure out which personal year you are. There's a little calculation method below each video there's a link to it that shows you how to calculate it. So please go figure that out. The general video on the general energy of the month always gets a lot more attention. And I gotta say the personal year videos, the personal month videos are way more accurate to your life than the general one is. The general one's important for understanding the energy that's affecting all of us, but you really want to know what's happening with your specific life, okay? So go ahead and check out my YouTube channel. It's Alexander Creek. And again, if you'd like to be on the podcast, if you would like a free reading on the podcast, just email me at acreek@acreekintuitive.com, visit my website at acreekintuitive, or just Facebook me at Alexander Creek and, you know, get on the podcast. So enjoy the episode, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys. Thank you, and welcome to the second episode of Clairvoyant Conversations. I'm your host, Alexander Creek, and of course, as always, I have my producer slash momager, aka Mom, Amy Conda. Let me go ahead and bring her on for a second so she can say hi.
Hey.
Hi, Mom. Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Of course I'm going to be here. Where else would I be?
Awesome. Well, I don't know. You're busy. I don't know. You have a life, you know.
Well, I have 5 other children, but whatever. It's all about you today.
For sure. I mean, that is true, and thank you. And Mom's going to be in the background as she takes my callers for today. So thank you, producer Amy. I'll go ahead and put you on mute here. And joining me today is a good friend of mine, a colleague of mine, and I feel like we started our businesses around the same time. So we're homies, and it's always nice to kind of swap business information and to have someone that knows exactly what you're going through as you create your business and as in this really weird industry that we're in as well, because the kinds of things that I'm interested, she's also interested in. So when I have like a really vivid, crazy dream, or when I have a client that is, like not the greatest, it's always nice to talk to someone about it. And my guest today is Crystal Heinemann, aka Crystal Sunshine of Crystal Sunshine Psychic Services. She is a formerly trained psychic under world-renowned clairvoyant and also my teacher, Dr. Lawrence Cielo. And Crystal is physically located in sunny Ventura, California, but has clients and students all over the world. And she offers readings, healings, and teaches psychic development to clients worldwide, either by phone, I think Skype too, and I think in person sometimes as well. And she recently collaborated with Lawrence Cielo on their new podcast. It's called Metaphysical Q&A, so definitely check that out. And Crystal can be found at her website, crystalsunshinepsychicservices.com. And she is also assisted by her BFF, her English bulldog named Luna, which if you check out any of her social media, you will find Luna everywhere. So, Crystal, welcome to the show.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction, and thank you, everyone, for listening. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so thrilled. I feel so honored to be in your space, Alex and Amy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I mean, you should. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I feel very especially spicy today. So,
Me too. Crystal, I feel sassy.
right in the description that I am sassy as a forewarning. So, so you have I want to talk a little bit about your background before you decided to jump into this crazy psychic world. So, let's talk a little bit about what you did before you switched gears and studied the clairvoyant thing.
Yeah, I actually, I was a flight attendant for a really long time, and I'll say, if I say how many years, I'll totally date myself. So
Totally.
I started when I was like 10. It was crazy. So I started flying really young, and then I did commercial, and then I went into private flying. So being, of course, out of LA area, I've pretty much flown like all of the world's elite, you know, whether it's business or entertainment or sports, anything, pretty much anyone and everyone I've flown. And my whole life has been a full non-disclosure agreement. So I'm waiting for those agreements to go null and void so I could really write a really kick-ass biography. So that's what I did. So it actually was a lot of fun. And essentially what I figured out was that I was pretty much collecting up pieces from all of my past lives around the world, right? So why else would I incarnate in a body where I can literally fly around the world, 3 times a month, which I've done before. And it's really to pick up, energy and pieces from all these past lives that I've had. So I really feel like that really expanded my space as an intuitive, as an clairvoyant, as a psychic, all of it. And quite honestly, I never really knew it, but I was reading all of my clients. That's why I excelled at what I did, was really I was reading the room, right? I was really just reading the airplane.
Totally.
Yeah, and so that's why I really, I was very well sought after and really successful at what I did, because I was able to read everyone's energy and vibration. Of course, I didn't know there was a name for it, but, if there was someone that needed a lot of attention, I could easily give that. If there was someone who just wanted to be left alone for 2 weeks, I could do that. So, and then what happened was I just sort of got bored. I'll be honest with you. But that's not true. I mean, I didn't really get bored, but I kind of did. But Luna was calling me. She wanted me home more. And I started having these dreams, actually, for about a year or two before I decided to, throw in the towel and really come into this crazy world, was I kept having these dreams where I was on the astral. And I just kept saying, I just want to live and breathe my spirituality. I want to be able to integrate my spirituality into my everyday life. And that's really how it all started. And I just started listening and, just going like, oh, wow, like there's something else. Like there's another message I was getting. And then, of course, that's when, you go down the rabbit hole of research, when you're having dreams like that and, trying to figure out what it's all about. Yeah. And then, of course, I turned on to Gaia TV, and then that's when I found, our teacher, Dr. Lauren. And once I heard what he was talking about, I was like, soul contracts and the fact that we're all responsible for, there's no victims. We're all responsible for this, crazy thing that we call life. I was like, that's it. That's what I got to learn. That's what I have to do. So, yeah, that's what brought me here.
Awesome.
So, and I'm so happy. I feel like life is so good.
Well, and it's like, could you even have guessed that like you would be doing this at this phase of life, that you're gonna like, oh, I'm gonna be a clairvoyant now, like that's what I'm gonna do. Like it makes perfect sense to you, and then sometimes I wonder like, what do other people think about me and what I'm doing? You know what I mean? Like it's perfectly normal to me. Yeah, we're definitely not immune to it. But anyway, I was drawn to Dr. Lauren too, and that information that we're all born with some intuition. Like we're all born with that capability to read energy, from each different chakra. And I will say too, I know Crystal's numerology as well. So Crystal is a 9 life path. So I'm a 9 life path as well. So the 9 life path is a natural born spiritual teacher. She's very charismatic. It's someone who comes in with a great deal of wisdom, because the 9 is like, 9 as you go up in the numbers is the highest vibration. So nines are very connected to their past lives. It's about culminating like their past lives, and like just as she was kind of saying, like gathering information, completing things out. You know, you maybe stole a loaf of bread from someone in like 1600, and somehow you paid it back in this lifetime, or vice versa. And like that goes with like, you know, romantic relationships, and like there is this sense of like, there is this kind of delicious sort of drama soap opera, I think, with all nines. Like we all have this like a little bit of this like dramatic bone in our body that's kind of attracted to art and theater as well too. And when you were talking about, and I will say a lot of famous mediums too around the world, Lisa Williams, James Van Praagh, John Holland. And I learned this from my numerology teacher, actually. They're all nines. They're all nine life paths. Yeah. So just saying, it's, you know, it's kind of like it's like built into you natural. I know. Well, and you also have that major 2 energy happening, and 2 is that like clairsentient number, so being able to feel things in your body, reading the room, getting along like really well with people, like intuitively knowing what people like need, and that's kind of, I think, what made you such a good flight attendant. You know, is like you're rocking 2 energy. You know, so anyway, sorry, I just had to like read you for a quick moment.
No, I always forget, so it's always so nice to be read by you. And then, you know what, listening to that, and I hope that other people can take away from my reading as well, that hearing that, it makes you realize, oh, okay, everything I have done up till this far has been along my path, has been aligned with what my soul wanted, because otherwise we wouldn't have incarnated in a body with those particular numbers had I not really gone that path. You know, of course, there's different variations of what I could have done, you know, like a nurse or, you know, something to do with public, you know, something along those lines where you're still getting it. But you do hear that, and then you realize how aligned you are with, you know, what you were incarnated in. And clearly you chose to incarnate at that particular time to run these certain vibrations and these certain numbers to really fulfill what you came here to fulfill. So it's really affirming when you say things like that. And I hope that other people can see that as well.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And, you know, and I will say as well, something I notice with people with 9 energy too, is sometimes like we spend a long time being the student before we become the teacher. And it's like life is just this kind of winding road until a certain point. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that from now on. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Yeah,
I always feel like I've been like the student of life. Like I've always said that. People have asked like, what's my passion? I'm always like, I'm a student of people. I'm a student of life. Like I feel like I forever will be because it fascinates me.
Yes. Yeah, same here. People are people are super fascinating. I wanted to be a psychologist when I was really young, and I feel like and you know what? Yeah, totally. And it's like in some ways, like you kind of get to exercise that muscle without like, I don't know, without because it's like I just wanted to find like a more direct way into people's psyche. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it. Yeah. Well, and people come to us, you know, for insight. So it is very similar paths. Of course, I mean we're not doctorates in anything. I mean I don't claim to be at least, but same. But it's along the same line, you know, of really working with people and allowing people to sort of like shine their best shine, you know, and assisting them along their path. So, and I know you're fabulous at that.
Oh, thank you so much. Right back at you. Well, let me ask you about your recent project that you're working on. It's super exciting. So, tell me about Metaphysical Q&A and what you have going on over it in your biz.
Yeah, so much. Thanks for asking about that. That's my baby. That's my latest baby. This is why I chose not to have kids, so I can have all these creations. Yeah, so Metaphysical Q&A, and you can find that at metaphysicalqa.com. It's my latest collaboration with our teacher, Alex and mine's teacher, Dr. Lauren Cielo, and of course, you might have seen him on Gaia TV with George Norrie. And in fact, he spent this summer, he actually met up with George Noria again in Gaia TV and actually spoke. The entire episode is going to be about metaphysical Q&A, and it's called Metaphysics for the Masses. And so that's going to be coming up, we think, at the end of September, maybe early October. And, of course, myself and Luna make an appearance in the episode as well via YouTube video. So you get a little flash butt of little Luna butt, too. So we're really excited about that. And essentially what it is it was assisting Lauren in all of his clairvoyant programs for almost a year. And we just found that we really connected, and, very similar to how you and I connect. You realize like you're part of the same soul tribe. And we just had so much fun doing that. And then when it was time for me to grow my own wings and start my own school, we kind of were like, this is so sad. Like, our journey's ending. This is so sad. And then literally we're saying goodbye on the phone, and we literally created Metaphysical Q&A like right then and there, because we were like, come on, we have to create something to spend more time together. And we came about with Metaphysical. I know. So we came about with Metaphysical Q&A, and essentially what it is it started out as a video podcast, and we're already finished shooting our first season, and then it just all of a sudden has evolved into so much more. So now we're doing Metaphysical Q&A teachings. And what that is, that's our newest baby, our second child out of Metaphysical Q&A. And what that is we have live teachings every Tuesday at 10 a.m. And it's really for, and you're going to really relate to this, Alex, it's really for our clients that come to us that don't want to be clairvoyantly trained, right? But there's so much offerings that we can help them out with metaphysically, but they're not really interested in our clairvoyant programs, right, and really developing their psychic abilities. So we started these teachings for essentially metaphysics for the masses, being able to work, the energy of whatever you're going through. Like we just finished living with a significant other, and moving your dis-ease, the difficulties of living with a significant other, and running the energy of allowing it to be really, at ease. And that's just one. We have 7 different categories, and we're creating them all the time. And really what we came up with was that Metaphysical Q&A is really about our lower 3 chakras, right? Our fussiest chakras, our first, second, and third. Those really are more our earth plane chakras, right? It's like about survival. Oh my gosh, my emotions, my sexuality, my career, my boundaries. That's all the earth stuff. So Metaphysical Q&A really works the energy of our lower 3 chakras. And then we all three, you too, we all have our clairvoyant programs. And that really, if you want to take it further, come along the spiritual side of things, working the upper, 4 chakras. So that's it.
You guys have episodes like the metaphysics of angels and the metaphysics of how metaphysically what happens when you get pregnant, you know what I mean? Or like when you bring another soul, like am I, just those, it's like, and that would have been helpful. So when I was growing up, those are the questions I was asking constantly. I was just like, so what happens after you die? Why does this, how does this work? I wanted to know, spiritually, metaphysically, the kind of the nuts and bolts of how that, what happens, or what, and so having that viewpoint would have been very helpful. So thank you to the weird second graders out there now who are questioning that, and of course curious adults as well. So that's pretty cool. I think it's a great idea.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah. And, the kids that are being incarnated, reincarnated these days are so ready for this information, right? Like you were that kid that wanted it at such a young age. And now they're being born and almost, all of them want that information right away. That's the vibration of the kids coming in today. So it's we're in such a great time, for information like that to come about. And it's just good. Now you can be a wonderful parent yourself when you find it that time, and you can teach from birth.
It's kids today do seem to be born, if you read the indigo child thing, or the crystal child, or there's all kinds of names for it, and it's very true. And it's even for myself, as an adult, I was sort of going back and reading through it, and I was like, oh my God, that's totally me, that, it's I resonate so much with that.
It's so open.
And I'm I do this work, but I'm also I'm an earth sign, I'm pretty practical. So sometimes I'll be like, this is too, whatever, it's too flowery, whatever, doesn't resonate. And then I go back and I'm like, no, I'm definitely that's the indigo child thing is definitely me. And a lot of people bring today. So
I think it's beautiful that you're an earth sign, and I think that that's such a beautiful balance with the work that you do. And then I think it's just so smart, it's so super genius of your higher self that you were born in as an earth sign, because otherwise you would be super woo-woo, right? You would be really far out there. So I love that you have the balance of the Taurus, the earth sign to really get you here. You wanted to experience this life, and so I like that you're a Taurus, and it's nope, I'm going to be grounded in this. I am. I'm really going to give it a go.
I'm very concerned about my afternoon snack and if I'm going to get a nap today, so.
So is Luna. Yeah. She's a Taurus too.
Oh, that's right. And she's also a 9 life path as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
A little 9. Yep. So, and I guess our caller should be calling in here in just a minute. So why don't you talk about how you do a reading, how you approach a reading, how people who may not be familiar with you, how that works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question. So how I work is essentially when, and most of my clients are over the phone, so I would have to say about 95% of them are over the phone. So once I connect with them, and we're actually talking just like you and I are talking here, I'll ask them to say their full name for me 3 times. And essentially what that does is that just allows their higher self, which is the soul aspect of them, to sort of come forward into my space. So I'm able to read their higher self, read what their soul is working through. So that's how I always start a reading, and that's how I get connected. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, is it the same if it's over the phone and not in person? And I actually think that my phone readings are better than my in-person readings, because I'm able to really sit with my eyes closed and really focus my awareness on my client's energy at that time. Well, I mean, in person's wonderful too, don't get me wrong, but it's really nice.
Yeah.
And then so once I read the energy of their higher self, and of course our higher self can be doing an infinite amount of things, but it's usually what they want to talk to me about, right, when they come to their questions. And then I'll just sort of scan their body chakras and aura, see if anything's sort of peeking out at me, wanting me to read it. And then a lot of times guides will come in at that point, and they'll send me a message about what their person's going through, or, maybe it's just a message that they are supported. And that's usually nice, because then the client's oh my gosh, I feel them, but I feel so alone. It's usually something like that. And I think I work pretty fast. And then all of that can happen within about 5 minutes. And then I switch it over to questions. And, the difference between readings with Alex and I and a lot of other people is our technique that we were taught in by Dr. Lauren is that we're the clairvoyant readers, and so we read we're almost the interpreters of your soul, but then we work with a healing master spirit guide that comes in. So a reading can go 2 ways, where it can be oh, yeah, your client saying, oh, yeah, I understand that. Okay, here's my second question. Or they could say, you know what, that doesn't sit well with me. Can we move that? Can we change that? And so Alex and I, we work with a healing master, spirit guide that's actually able to move our client's energy, right? So that's to me, that's always the most profound thing, is that we can read, but yet we can update soul contracts. We can work through karma. We can, shift that, 3rd chakra that's really really unbalanced, or really work someone's, 2nd chakra that's really emoting. So we can really work people's, and I'm sure your clients say this all the time too, Alex, that after a session with us, they just feel really calm and really relaxed, and almost a little refreshed, because our guides are working with them. So I love it. I love it. So that's passion with me.
Too. It's okay. Awesome. Thank you. And so succinctly explained. You're such, and I will say, everyone, so Crystal does, she does readings and healings, but she also teaches as well, just like me. So Crystal has her own Psychic Academy. So if you're interested in opening and developing your intuitive abilities, she has a few different programs that would be great for you. And she has downloadables as well. So you can do the downloadable programs, or you can participate live over the phone. So Check her out again at crystalsunshinepsychicservices.com. And where else are you? Facebook, Instagram, where else are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm on everywhere. I'm everywhere out there. I had to tone down what I was going to say. I was like, I'm working here. So, yeah, I'm on Facebook, personal as well as, business, and then Instagram for the most part. I'm on Twitter, but I don't really pay too much attention to it. Yeah.
Yeah, same. My Twitter is like my it's like forgotten stepchild that I need to pay attention to. So
I don't really
anyway,
understand it. I'll be honest with you. Like I don't really understand the idea of it so much. So yeah, it's the
I hear you.
Stepchild.
It's So everybody, we are going to kind of go ahead and switch to doing readings for our callers here. And just as a reminder, my website is acriekintuitive.com. That's AKRIECH intuitive.com. Or you can just Google my name. I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably easier because my last name is weird to spell, and I do pop up on Google. And same with Crystal Sunshine as well, / Crystal Heinemann. Yep. So we are going to go ahead, and Crystal and I are going to step off to the side, and I'm going to be reading our first client's. I'm going to read her numerology chart, and Crystal is going to read the way Crystal reads, and we're going to step off to the side and kind of match her energy first, and then we'll be back in just a moment.
Fun.
All right, we're back, and I believe we have Jill on the line. Jill?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey,
hi.
Jill.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited.
You're so. Yes, yeah, me too.
We are too.
So I'm going to have Crystal read first, and she's going to explain what she's reading, and then what she sees in your space, and then I will jump in second. Okay?
Okay.
So whenever you're ready.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Hi, Jill. So I'm so excited to read you, and thank you so much. So I wasn't really quite sure what I was going to read, but I just focused my awareness on your name, and you just showed me a picture. So I'm like, oh, this is what I'm going to read. Thank you so much, Jill. And really how I work is being a clairvoyant, I'm just reading pictures that you're showing me. And so it's a picture that's in your space. And so it's so beautiful, and I feel like your energy is just really, really super calm. It seems very, very serene. And I want to explain the image that you showed me, and then I'm going to explain the colors around it, because the colors, it's a form of energy, and that always means something in your space. And so you came in on this beautiful, beautiful crescent moon. So I don't know if you really resonate with the moon, but your higher self does. And it's the crescent moon, so where it's if I'm looking at it, the rounded side is on the left, and then the pointy sides are on the right. And it's not that like yellow color. It's actually really beautiful, like silver color. And the way that you swung in is you were actually like sitting on the bottom of the crescent moon. And then you showed me that you had wings, and you were sort of just like playing with your foot with clouds, like you were kind of poking at clouds. So it was really, really beautiful. And it felt like the energy was really fluid. It means that you're really like in touch with your emotions. And the energy around it was a lot of this like really, really soft, like baby blue. And whenever I read a baby blue, it's always about a self-healing. So I think you're really working this self-healing energy. And really what that means here on earth, I mean, it's so silly, but what that means here on earth is that your higher self is creating experiences for you to really experience some self-healing. So it's like you would create something like here on earth, maybe it would be like, you know, an experience that you wanted to, I don't know, like, you know, go and get a pedicure or something, or, you know, go and relax, or, you know, something, I don't know, something soothing, it feels very much like. And like I said, the energy around you is super, super calm. And it's like you're just sort of like watching like the clouds go by. But there is a lot of like water energy in it. And so it really says to me that I don't know if maybe you're a water sign or maybe you have water in your chart or something like that, but you are just kind of like dipping your toe in it. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to dip myself a little bit of an emotion, and then I'm just sort of going to like take it out. Like, like I feel that, now I'm going to take it out. So it's not like you really just like emote yourself. You know, it's like you're very calculated, it seems to be, like when you share your emotions, but it seems very thoughtful and very peaceful and very lovely. So it was really beautiful energy to read. So thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
That sounds really, really accurate, and I am really connected to the moon, but I'm an air sign.
I am too.
But I love water.
Yeah, that's probably why you were floating up in the clouds. Yeah. Typical air sign. I hear you.
Okay, so I was kind of peeking at you while Crystal was talking, Jill.
Okay.
So the first thing I actually want to start with is it's called your heart's desire number. So this is kind of like the inner longing of your soul and what you need sort of deep down. And you have a 7 heart's desire, okay? So what you need is like peace and quiet at the end of the day. You need time to sort of rest and recharge your batteries. The 7 is very connected to, like, 7 is kind of the energy of like the wise sage or like the wise mystic, okay? It's very intuitive, it's very psychic, but it's also very like analytical, and it's very intelligent. So like I'm sure I could like throw like I'm sure I can find you with like a good book at the end of the day, you know, like, and 7 is also very connected to spirituality and metaphysics. It's very connected to meditation as well. It's like 7 is the number that really is going to kind of like uncover everything there is to know about something before it's like 7 is like kind of like the ultimate sort of detective energy. Okay, so does that make sense when I'm talking to you about your 7?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And what's interesting is that your personality number, so this is like what you show people, and this is what people sort of see in you first a lot of the time. You have like a very chatty 3 personality. 3 personality is like pretty social. 7 is very antisocial. Like, so 3, like, kind of needs to be with people. It's very sunny. It's very chatty. It's very social. It's very creative. It kind of has this sort of childlike kind of carefree energy. And I just thought the difference between like what you need deep down, sort of what your soul is, and kind of this energy that you give off are actually 2 very different things. And I thought that was very, very fascinating. So number 1. And so I wanted to point out those differences. And then when I look at your life path number, so the life path is, it's sort of like, your gifts and talents that you are born with. They are oozing out of your pores. They are sort of who you are deep down. It's sort of what you've done in past lives. So you actually come in as this very strong 8 life path. So we have this like mystical 7, this chatty 3, and then the 8 life path is like a good manager. It's a good organizer. It can be really focused. I feel like you're good at working with other people and like either managing or leading other people. And this is also like 8 is kind of like the CEO kind of executive number. It can be very, very focused on its goals as well too. It's like 8 is sort of this like laser-like, when you want something, when you want to achieve something, it's like you can do it with like laser-like focus. I also see you as, I also see the similar energy in your expression number. So the expression number comes from your full name at birth, okay? Which I'm not going to say on the air because that would be crazy you come in as a 1 expression. This is talking again to me about potential for leadership, for potentially having your own business, for doing something under your own time, under your own watch. I see you as kind of an independent self-starter, or like an independent self-starter. I do see you as having had to perhaps fight for your independence, maybe fight to stand on your own 2 feet, like that's important at some time in the life for you. I see you as definitely someone who is a fighter, basically, deep down. You've like possibly had those experiences. Does that resonate for you when I talk about that?
Yes, every bit of it. Very much so.
Yep. And I also see in your birthday number too, you're being born on the 22nd. This is master builder energy. Okay, so you have again like this little like mystic 7 heart desire, but I see if someone is like, you can like kick ass and take names with your energy. The 22 birthday, it's very much it can be very organized. It can be very much it's very good at organization, like managerial kind of energy. It's like endurance. The 22 and the 4 are very much about endurance and being able to see something through with the long haul. And whatever, like 22 is a master number, and it's the master builder. So whatever dream you have, whatever bigger ambition you have that feels bigger than yourself, you really do have the talent and the ability to make that happen on the physical plane. So some people have the dream and they don't necessarily have like the follow through. I see you as having both. So I just wanted to throw that your way as well. And one last thing. You are in some really strong 7 energy in September, so I really, really want you to get your rest. And I know we like chatted a little bit just about health like before the show, but I didn't know you were in a 7-year. And so you're in a 7-year, you're 7 months in September. You need rest, reflection, alone time, and you need to chill out this month and really focus on health, focus on meditation. And if you can, put career and work on the back burner just for this month. You have some more of that coming in next month, but this month, rest, reflection, meditation, take your vitamins, eat your fruits and vegetables, and just like read a good book, okay? So does all of that make sense to you?
Yeah. It's unbelievable how much. Every piece of it is like, that's my life. That's me.
I love that.
Okay. Awesome.
And I have to add that her higher self is creating rest and relaxation, because that's what she showed me in the beginning, just chilling out on the moon, just sort of tapping her feet in the clouds. So it's like that's exactly what her higher self is creating. So I have all my faith in you, Jill, that you are on your self-healing path.
Thank you. That's awesome. Exactly where I want to be right now.
That was really cool. Great read, Alex.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you. Same to you. And thanks again for calling in, Jill. We super appreciate it.
Thanks,
Jill. Thank you so much, Alex and Crystal. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye. Bye.
Okay, so I believe we have. Yes, nice job. High five, yo. So I think we have.
That was so great.
I think we have Sarah on the line. So, Sarah, we're going to go ahead. We're going to step to the side and match your energy, and we'll bring you on in just a moment. We're going to play this little music clip while we do that. So we'll be right back, everybody. Hey, Sarah.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi. Thanks for calling into the podcast.
No problem. I'm so excited.
Yes.
We're excited.
All right.
A little
nervous. So.
Oh, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
Right,
Excellent.
So,
well, I'll jump on in if you like.
Yeah, perfect. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, excellent. Hi, Sarah. So this is Crystal. So I focused my awareness on your name. And so what I decided to read was just the image that your higher self is coming in at and sort of the energy that you're running right now. And, when I focused my awareness on your name and called you in, really who came through was your guides, that your team, your spiritual team is supporting you so much. So I don't know if you are in open communication with them, and it doesn't have to be, name to name, but I feel that you're very aware that they are there. And the way that they came in was, it was just really beautiful. Are you familiar with tiger's eye stone, like a gemstone of tiger's eye? Are you familiar with what that looks like? It's okay if you're not.
I have no idea.
Okay. It's and that's okay. It sort of looks like it's varnished wood. So tiger's eye comes in as like really shiny, and it has a little bit of like brown and yellow in it. And that always is the energy that guides come in on for some reason. And so what they showed me was this like beautiful, so maybe you want to get some tiger's eye, maybe sleep with it under your pillow. And tiger's eye is really about awakening your psychic abilities and really awakening up your third eye. And so I think your guides are probably wanting you to do that because they show me that they show me this huge piece of tiger's eye, almost like it's a platform, and they're holding it up, and you are actually sitting on this really beautiful piece of tiger's eye. And it's you, and it's so beautiful, and you seem very calm, and you seem very peaceful, but really it's them that they want me to focus on, and they're holding you up on this tiger's eye. So then let me get a little bit more information about this and what you're working through right now. There's a lot of mental energy around this, meaning that I think that you are very intelligent, and I think that you really work a lot of mental energy, meaning like it's a lot of wisdom, it's a lot of old soul energy, and it's about sort of like calculating in your mind, right? When you sort of like have the conversations in your mind, like you really sort of, use that versus, someone with emotional energy would emote their emotions, right? And someone with like a vocal energy would more so like vocalize that, where you really do think about things first. And then what that does is it's just a really good energy for you to run is really what that is. And then when you run your mental energy, it's like it really brings along some clarity for you, and it feels like that's really where you get centered, and that's just a really good space for you. So if you don't work with your guides, I highly encourage you to do that because they are all around you, lifting you up. And I do think it's about really your expansion into the spiritual world. And and that's such a goofy word. So it's really whatever that means for you, meaning that you are really here to really like raise your soul, really like raise your vibration. So it doesn't have to be professionally whatsoever, but I think you're in a time when you're transitioning to really like, oh, okay, so what's the metaphysical side of this? Like I see what's going on here on earth, but like I know that there's more, what's really going out there. And I feel like you're really expanding that state of you right now. That's what I have. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. That's, yes, very interesting.
Good.
All right. Hey, Sarah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. We used to work together a long time ago.
Oh, I know. It's been like so long.
I know. Yep. So, Sarah, looking at your energy, and it's interesting because I don't really feel like it's like that surprising when I'm looking at your energy. So your life path number. Okay, so let's start with your life path number. This is your natural born talents and abilities, who you are without having to try. I always kind of like to say it's like the energy that kind of just oozes out of your pores. Okay, so you come in as a 1 life path. 1 energy, your energy, you have the energy of a leader. You have the energy, it's like kind of like Miss Independent is very much that energy. It's very much like 1 energy likes to kind of have their, like, it's like 1 energy is like very much like a natural leader, and they really kind of like to have their way, basically. So 1 is, It's very independent. Yep. Yeah. You're like, yeah, that is me, queen.
Yep.
And also there is this energy here too of like learning to, at some point in your life, to kind of stand on your own 2 feet, to sort of like to fight for your independence and to really kind of rock that leadership energy. And I think you would be happiest in a leadership position or being able to at least be like left to your own devices to kind of make your own decisions. Okay. So you have a very, very strong kind of like masculine kind of like leader energy. Mm-hmm. And you also have similar energy in your birthday, being born on the 8th. The 8th energy, it's like, again, it's kind of the 8 where 1 is kind of like, I'm going to do it this way, and 1 is also kind of like this unique original energy. And again, like Crystal said, there is this intelligence to the 1 as well. With that tiger's eye thing that she was talking about, I do see you as very intelligent. And with the 8 that comes in, 8 is a good manager. It's a good organizer. You're comfortable in positions of power and authority and being around power and being around people with power and authority. It also has to do with finances and money. So there is like talent for handling money, for like managing, family finances or business finances or whatever it is. And it's also telling me that you have the ability to laser focus on a goal and see something through. But what's interesting, so you have this like super powerful, like I'm going to kick ass and just kind of like just be a boss energy. And then what your soul really wants to do as well, you have major 6 energy. So 6 energy is nurturing, it's family oriented, it's connected to children. And this 6 energy really comes from your birth name on your birth certificate, your full name, the vibration that creates, it comes out to be a 6. So you have this in your destiny number, or it's called your expression number. So what you're really here to do is kind of both. Like you're here to be a leader, to be independent, to be in a position of authority, but you're also here to, to work potentially with children, to be around children, to sort of open your heart, to be loving, to be nurturing, to be in that sort of home and family environment. That is what 6 is all about. When you look at the 6, it literally looks pregnant. Like the 6 is about home and family, and it's about kind of balancing responsibility. People with 6 energy often find that they are like giving to the point of like, I want you to make sure that you take time for yourself, because 6s often give almost too much, and like they can sometimes feel like they take on too much responsibility. So I know that you have a big heart, so make sure that you have some sort of time for yourself so you don't like completely drain your batteries. And I also see the 6 energy in your heart's desire. So like this is really truly what you want in life is, the family, to be nurturing, to be loving. It's also very creative as well too. Sometimes it's like latent. Sometimes like you may not think you're creative, but with the 6, it's really, you have that kind of Martha Stewart and mom energy going on. So when I'm talking about the 6, does that make sense to you?
Yes, that does.
Yeah. Okay. So the last thing I kind of want to mention to you is you're going into a very interesting cycle at your next birthday. So you're going into some very intense 4 energy. 4 energy is, I see like a lot more work on your plate, and I want you to just make sure that you're taking care of your health, because I can kind of see that your stress level might go up, but I feel like you're going to be working towards something. You have like this building energy coming in where you're going to be building towards something or working towards something. And I just feel potentially kind of like some more work stress, like some more work and some more stress around you. The good news is that I don't see that energy doesn't necessarily last for very long. It's like just for 1 year, but I really see you like grinding something out or pushing through something, or just like working on something very hard. And I see that energy most strongly in 2019 for you. And you'll start to get a kind of taste of that energy in October. And so 2019, the foundation, like just kind of work on building a solid foundation for your life, working within structure, and just pay attention to your health and just kind of keep things balanced. Make sure that you get your rest as well too. So does that kind of make sense to you?
Yeah, it really does. I'm going to be, I'm getting my master's in special education, and I actually am going to start student teaching in January. So,
no kidding. All right. Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I think that's
awesome.
going to be really stressful for me.
Alex, but you're so smart, so you got it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
You're
Sarah.
so welcome.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Excellent.
So
That was great. What a good journey
awesome,
she's
yeah.
on.
Nice job to you. I know. Like there's like I always find it funny when someone has kind of opposite energies going on, like 6 energy, and the one like the 6 is like the super nurturing, loving energy, and then like the 1, it just does not like mess around, you know. So,
well, and it probably feels conflicted on Earth, right? That probably is a time where you're just like, I'm so conflicted, I don't know why, right? Because they're in competition.
Totally.
Or
totally.
So interesting. Mm-hmm.
So we're supposed to have a third caller, but I don't know where she is. So
that's okay.
Maybe she can call in next time. So no worries.
That's right.
Here.
We can only do so much.
Exactly.
Everything's divinely guided, so it all works.
Yes. Let me bring on, let me see if my mom wants to plug anything because she's a life coach.
Excellent.
So I just want to ask her if there's anything that she's working on before we wrap up with you in the show here.
Oh, fun.
Mom, are you there?
Oh, hey. Yep.
Hi, Amy Konda. Hey, do you want to kind of plug a little bit what you're doing on your YouTube channel so people can check you out?
Yeah, I also was trying to chime into that last caller because I'm also a special education teacher with a master's, and I wanted to
totally.
I must not have the right buttons, but anyway.
I heard you trying to knock on his door, and I was like, well, maybe I don't know their language, but I heard you trying to knock on them. You were like, Alex.
Well, so I am I'm also an intuitive reader, and Crystal, it's really interesting that I am also a 9 life path.
You are.
Yes.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm not surprised.
And
I knew I loved you before I even met you.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I took some training from Dr. Lauren as well, and then I went through Alex's training program. So I'm an intuitive reader. I also dabble with tarot, and I'm also a life coach. And so I have a website, amykonda.com, Konda. And I am doing a manifesting experiment, and I am chronicling that on YouTube. And that's under Amy Konda Intuitive, I think. I don't remember the name of it. Oh, my God. It's just like, Amy Konda Life Coach, I think. Anyway, whatever, you'll find it.
That's such a smart idea. It's such a smart idea to chronicle your manifestation. It's so clever.
It's been so interesting to notice how my thought processes have changed since I started that. And I do have to say I slacked the last couple of weeks since school started, but now I'm trying to get I'm back in a routine, and I'm not like dead every time I wake up. So
that's okay.
Putting the next video on here shortly.
That's so clever. I know when I first saw you do that, I was like, that's so smart. What a good idea. And so interesting. Yeah. Because I think that's what a lot of people want to know. Like, of course, you know, we are capable of creating our life, but like everyone wants to know, well, how much time is it going to take, right? What am I going to feel? Like, when's it going to happen? And I think, of course, it's different for everyone. So I think it's so beautiful that you're chronicling it so real-time people can understand and relate. I think it's so cool.
Well, and I have so many questions about it. Like, so if you watch some of these YouTube videos, it's like, okay, you do this, or, you know, I've read some things like do this and then this happens. Like, but there's like a huge shift and change in there in between those words. And that's what I wanted to get to.
Well, I'm going to follow you as of right now. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. So please subscribe to my mom's YouTube channel. Just go to Amy Konda. It's AMY and then KONDA. So thanks, Mom.
I'm on it. I wrote it down. On it. On Anaconda.
All right. And Crystal, your website, just one more time, is crystalsunshine.psychicservices.com. Is that correct?
That's it. Yep. psychicservices.com, or you can check me out at metaphysicalqa.com. Either way.
Awesome. And again, everyone, my website is acreekintuitive.com. Check me out on Facebook, YouTube. I'm more active on my YouTube channel now. I'm doing monthly forecasts for your personal months. So make sure to check that out. Sign up for my newsletter. Just all the things, please. And of course, if you like our podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends. If you would like to get a reading on the podcast, probably most importantly, you can contact me on my social media, or you can definitely just email me, and then I can have you on a future episode. I'd rather not have random people. I would love to have people just from that I don't really know, but that are on our social media, because that would be rad. So thanks. And Crystal, thanks so much for being on. It was a pleasure.
Oh my gosh, I feel so honored that you invited me. So, and then for your second show, I felt so honored. So I'm so thankful for you. Thank you.
Crystal.
Bye. Bye.